Hey, I'm Charlie Fair. Thanks for tuning into the channel. If you guys are new to our channel, I do primarily videos from racing and racing cars to motocross bikes, as you can see behind me, and collecting bikes, cars.
So Vance with Sterling Auto Carriers is a company that Lamborghini is using. They had 6 EVO2s, obviously all new from Italy. 1 got dropped off in Austin, and then 3 are getting dropped off at Thermal. And mine, of course, is, I believe, that one. And then the last one is going to Lamborghini Newport Beach. But Vance showed up on time, 8 a.m. on the dot. We're getting everything unloaded. Have a couple buddies coming over to help me unload, and we'll be good to go.
I just got the Super Trofeo in. It's an EVO2, brand new car. We just got shipped from Italy to New York, and then Lamborghini North America just had it delivered here with a couple other Lamborghinis that were going to some other dealers. If you're not too familiar with the EVO2 compared to the Evo Lamborghini race car, I'll show you that in this video as well, what the differences are. But since 2014, Lamborghini has built a race car specific car that's made for the racing series. They call it a Super Trofeo race series. And I think to this day, from 2014 to now, there's about 400 Super Trofeos out there in the wild, so to speak, throughout the world. And this is the newest development, which is the EVO2. And we'll be racing it in the Super Trofeo race series, which is an IMSA race series in North America. It's 6 races, and it starts in Laguna Seca in March of 2023. If you look on YouTube, there's tons of great racing from IMSA for that series, including this year's series. So super excited for the series. I'm going to be under Darren Law's race team, which is Flying Lizard. They're based out of Sonoma, and what's great with that race team, they're actually going to be moving to Apex Motor Club, which is a private club that I'm a member at, which is just south of Phoenix, Arizona. So about an hour-and-a-half drive from here. But without further ado, let's go through the car. So some basic updates to the EVO2 over the Evo. They did a lot more aero changes for the body. So you'll see a little bit more air intakes. You'll notice they're now running full LED headlight taillights. And so besides some of the carbon bodywork, the chassis itself is the same. A lot of guys opted, instead of buying the new EVO2, you could take your existing Evo and do the full upgrade. I've heard it's anywhere from $38,000 to $80,000 to do the upgrade itself. And then obviously you have to pay a team to update the car, switch out all the panels and everything. With the EVO2 as well, it has a completely new brake system for the EVO2. New calipers, rotors, so that's going to give it a lot more braking stoppability, and I've heard it makes a big difference for the car. The car is already running on Olin suspension, which is an amazing suspension, so they didn't really touch on that or anything else. Interior of the car is the same, the motor is the same. It's a 620 horsepower NA motor. I believe everybody runs on the same race fuel, which is 100 octane. Everybody's going to be on the same race tires, which are going to be the Pirelli Slicks. Pretty cool series. I'm really excited to be a part of it, especially getting this car. I had shoulder surgery about 6 weeks ago, and I just got out of my sling. We're not going to be in the car and doing testing for a couple more months, but stay tuned because we're going to walk you through all of the testing, getting the car race prepped, which we got a lot to do still to get it race prepped. So right now you can see how high it's sitting. Obviously in the race prep, it's going to be sitting a lot lower. Let's take a quick look inside. The car is how it gets delivered. We still need to get race netting in it, some other race logic comms in it. We're going to put a cool box in it for the race suit, so I run a little bit cooler. It doesn't come with a passenger seat. The guys, when racing, you're not going to run a passenger seat. Usually you'll have your ice box in there and things like that, hydration. The doors are super light. These come right off. They just pop right off. The only thing that is not carbon are the doors for safety and the roof. You have the fuel jug that you have to use for it. It does have a jack system. You would just attach the lance here and you could raise and lower the car to work on it, which is super nice. Capristo does the exhaust for all of them. So the car sounds really good. We'll show a sound bite in the video as well. The car weighs, I thought it weighs about 2,700, but I was informed it probably weighs about 2,950 pounds. So it's about 300, 400 pounds lighter than the Huracan. This is not a street legal car. You can make it a street legal car, but they're, even on the certificate of origin, it says not for street use. Doesn't have air conditioning. So it's pretty raw. You have all your controls on your steering. It's an X-Trac sequential gearbox, a different gearbox than what you have in the regular Huracans or STO. You have the paddle shift, of course. It's a little bit different in neutral and in reverse in first gear than what you'd normally do in a regular Huracan. Have 6-point harness. Little interesting note too, they run the OMP carbon seats. You have to run that seat for running the race series. Unfortunately, this seat, I believe, is a regular size and it is too small for me. So I'm gonna have to pay the money to get the larger seat, which is unfortunate. And we may take the seat though and put it in the passenger side. So that way, if we do a cars and coffee drive, somebody could drive with me. So, and if we're on the track, that way I can, before we get serious, have somebody in the car and have some fun in the car with me. And we'll do some in-car video footage of that as well. Massimo, anything else you want to?
Yeah, I do have a question. So these tires here, obviously they're not slicks. Are these for transportation only? Is that why they put those on?
Great question. These are the rain slicks. So they'll always get delivered with the rain slicks, and most manufacturers do that. So you already have a set of slicks. It's gonna cost about, besides the price of the car, with everything that I have to get for spares and have the car race prepped, it's gonna run about anywhere from $50,000 to $80,000 more over the car just to have everything set up and have spares. So it's one thing, like they always say about buying a race car, it's another being able to race it. And then the race series isn't inexpensive either. But if you're buying this type of car, you should already know all your expenses and what it's going to run to race it. There's a lot of amazing, great cars out there. I mean, before this, I had a Radical RXC Coupe that's almost like, it's a wannabe LMP3 car, 650 horsepower, 2,600 pounds. That car was a blast to drive. I also had a Z28 Camaro, one of the real race cars. through Black Dog Speed Shop. Pratt & Miller did a lot of the work on that car for them as well. And that was a lot of fun car, but that was a manual car. So total night and day difference between that and going to a sequential car like the Radical I had or this car. But if you want to get into racing and even just driving, you can find some of these pre-owned on the market. Demand's really big right now. I think just in general for the car market itself, a lot of guys are getting into track days and racing. So you have a lot of opportunity to buy inexpensive cars to get into it and then build yourself up into a vehicle like this. So I hope you liked the video on the car. Stay tuned for a lot more action with it. We have a big year coming up with this car, and you're gonna be along for the ride. What we're gonna do also in a couple weeks, we're gonna do a Q&A session. A lot of you guys have been asking questions or private messaging me on Instagram. And so what we thought with this video, please ask whatever questions, whether about me, cars, bikes, racing. Feel free to put your questions below, and then in a couple weeks we'll post a video with all the answers for you. Thank you, subscribe, and we'll look forward to talk to you next time.